What if the future of a global war didn't change because of tanks, missiles, or secret diplomacy, but because of a beauty queen? It sounds unbelievable, yet according to a stunning new report, an unexpected personal moment sparked by a former Miss Ukraine helped thaw icy relations between U.S. President Donald Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. A moment so human, so personal, that officials in the room say you could feel the temperature change. Tonight, we take you inside the phone call, the backstory, and the high-stakes diplomacy that followed, and why this moment may shape the future of the war in Ukraine. But please subscribe USA Close-Up and press the bell icon. Earlier this year, relations between Donald Trump and Volodymyr Zelensky hit rock bottom. The now infamous Oval Office confrontation, described by insiders as a shouting match, left Zelensky politically bruised and diplomatically isolated. For Ukraine, the timing couldn't have been worse. The war with Russia dragged on. Western unity showed cracks, and U.S. support, Ukraine's lifeline, was suddenly uncertain. Zelensky knew something had to change. If Ukraine was going to survive, if American backing was going to continue, he needed to get back onto Donald Trump's good side. But how do you mend fences with a president who values strength, loyalty, and personal chemistry above all else? As it turns out, you start with something personal. In August, President Trump met Russian President Vladimir Putin in Alaska. The summit was highly anticipated. Some hoped it could bring a breakthrough, perhaps even the beginning of an end to the war. Instead, it produced almost nothing. No ceasefire, no roadmap, no real progress. For Trump, the lack of results was frustrating. For Zelensky, it was alarming. Just 3 days later, Zelensky arrived in Washington, D.C. alongside 7 European leaders, hoping to reset the narrative and his relationship with Trump. Behind closed doors, few expected warmth. What they got instead surprised everyone. During the meeting, the conversation drifted unexpectedly to Donald Trump's past as owner of the Miss Universe pageant. Trump owned the pageant from 1996 until 2015, and as aides recall, he began reminiscing. Then came the comment that changed everything. "Ukrainian women are beautiful," Trump blurted out. The room went quiet. Then Zelensky responded, without hesitation. "I know," he said. "I married one." Laughter followed. The tension broke, and suddenly, 2 presidents who had struggled to connect politically found common ground on a human level. But the moment didn't end there. Trump began recounting a personal story about his longtime friend, Las Vegas casino mogul Phil Ruffin. Ruffin, now 90 years old, is married to Alexandra Nikolayenko, former Miss Ukraine. Trump had met her through the Miss Universe pageant. He later introduced her to Ruffin. And then, in a move no one in the room expected, Trump picked up the phone. He called Phil Ruffin, and Ruffin put her wife on the line. For the next 10 to 15 minutes, official business stopped. Alexandra Nikolayenko, former Miss Ukraine, and Volodymyr Zelensky, president of Ukraine, spoke in their native language, Ukrainian to Ukrainian, human to human. One official present at the meeting described the moment vividly. "You could feel the room change," they told the New York Times. The temperature dropped. Everyone laughed. What had been stiff became relaxed. What had been tense became human. It created a human connection, the official said. It humanized Zelensky with Trump. In a presidency defined by personal chemistry, that mattered a lot. Later, Oleksandra Nikolayenko recalled details of her conversation with Zelensky. He was surprised, she said, that her family had not fled Odessa amid the war. Her father refused to leave. He's an old-school officer, she explained. He believes that if he leaves, there will be nothing to come back to. He wants to be with his home, with his land, with his country. It was a quiet reminder that behind every policy debate are people who refuse to abandon home. The personal connections didn't stop there. Oleksandra Nikolayenko and First Lady Melania Trump, herself an Eastern European former model, are reportedly extremely close. Phil Ruffin once described them as like peas in the pod. The symbolism wasn't lost on anyone. Eastern Europe, shared backgrounds, shared stories. Suddenly, Ukraine wasn't just a strategic issue, it was personal. What happened next shocked even seasoned diplomats. After that August meeting, the Trump administration announced it was willing to offer Ukraine NATO-like security guarantees, something previously considered politically radioactive. Earlier this month, Trump went further. He reiterated support for a proposed peace framework that included U.S. and European security protections for Ukraine, a dramatic shift, one that insiders say might never have happened without that personal breakthrough. Just days ago, Zelensky met Trump again, this time at Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach, Florida. The focus, a 20-point peace proposal. Under the plan, Ukraine would receive NATO-style security guarantees. Ukraine would remain eligible to join the European Union. Fighting in Donetsk would halt at current battle lines. Ukrainian and Russian forces would withdraw to form a demilitarized zone. Ukraine would receive $800 billion to rebuild after the war. After the meeting, Trump told reporters, "We'll see if it gets done, but it's very close, certainly." But there's one major problem: Russia. Few believe Vladimir Putin will agree to any deal that even mentions NATO-style protections for Ukraine. And that reality is increasingly frustrating Donald Trump. On Truth Social, Trump made his frustration public. He shared a New York Post headline reading, "Putin attack bluster shows Russia is the one standing in the way of peace." The message was clear. Trump wants this war over, and he's running out of patience with Moscow. History turns on the unexpected, not just on battlefields, but in conversations, in laughter, in shared humanity. A former Miss Ukraine, a phone call, a moment that melted the ice. Whether this leads to peace or simply another chapter in a long war remains to be seen. But one thing is certain: in global politics, personal moments can change the course of history, and sometimes beauty really does break the ice.